My name is Kira, and this is my partner Adam. We're this year's Biosphere photographers in residence for the Isle of Man, and honestly, it still feels so surreal to say that.
So we're going to start off going through plantation at Injebreck, then get on top of the hill and walk across the hill for a bit and find the Fulton. And there's like a little gorge where they must have mined the slate to build the Fulton.
There's some quiet forest setting, and then there's some shouting. I don't know if the shouting is a dog or a sheep or what it is, but the shouting is loud. You try to come places like this for some peace and quiet, but it doesn't always happen. Starting off the walk at the place called Injebreck on the Isle of Man, which is a reservoir, and it's probably a bit less than 100 years ago, but the bottom of this lake was once, it's not a lake, it's a reservoir, was once a village, and there was a load of work constructed as the Isle of Man's population grew, and they decided to flood it, and it became the water supply for Douglas. So beneath the lake there is like an old farmstead, and I actually have family that live not this side of the valley but over the other side. That's where my family was from. It's very pretty.
Birds of prey.
I am obsessed a little bit. I have this theory that something pivotal happens in my... Whenever I see any, basically something pivotal happens in my life.
See any what?
Whenever I see them, I try and help it guide some life decisions. And do you know what? So far, I swear it has worked. But here on the island, we are so lucky. You could go on a 15-minute drive over the hills, and you can see often 4 or 5 birds of prey and different varieties as well. So we are so lucky to just be able to drive around and just see them as like normal.
Geocache that I was saying?
How do you know it's there?
I can see it.
You can see it? Whoa!
I don't have anything to put in it there.
What was that you meant to do? I've got some gherkins, some cheese.
Okay.
What's in there? Just pens and shit.
Little dog.
Oh.
Mouldy looking frog. Some inkjet printer cartridges.
That's funny.
Expensive, that probably. Play-Doh. Don't know. Alarm clock. Number 1 mum.
Oh.
Really have anything. Some notes in there.
Oh wait, I don't like reading stuff like that on film. Just in case it's something really personal.
Some fella named John.
No.
Got the geocache here in 2003.
Oh.
Shows secure.
Don't let any moisture get in.
Good.
Yeah.
So up that way there is quite an interesting stone bridge, which I do have some photos of, so I can show you that, but maybe another day we'll head there. For now we're going up the hill to the Fulton.
Go on then. The Isle of Man is such a huge part of who we are. We live our lives surrounded by wild coasts, quiet fells, ancient stories, and the kind of weather that changes the mood of a landscape in seconds. It's a place that inspires you, whether you're holding onto a camera or just standing still for a moment. Life here isn't always fast or loud. It's more about rhythm, light, and connection. We spend so much of our time exploring the island, finding new corners, revisiting old favourites, and trying to capture what makes this place feel so alive.
Time for some lunch.
Cheers.
I'll see the cheese.
Oh. More cheese. It's probably not the healthiest of lunches. Blueberries. Some crisps. Oh my gosh. If you know, you know. If you don't know, you need to try these. They burn your mouth off, but oh my god. Once you open the packet, they're gone.
Co-op. Salt and vinegar crisps.
Yeah. You'll notice how the hills rise gently around the reservoir. This valley is framed by a mix of spruce, larch, Douglas fir and Scots pine, with little pockets of broad leaves scattered through the plantation. It really does feel like a place where forest, water and old memory all come together. The further you walk up the hills, the more the landscape opens up, from shadowy forest paths to wider views across the valley. Up here in Injebreck, the land holds stories most people never hear. Long before these hills fell silent, slate miners carved their lives into the rock, shaping the island with their hands, their sweat, and their hope. The Isle of Man was never rich in gold or silver, but it had slate, and for generations this stone built our homes, our farms, and the very places that sheltered our ancestors from the storms rolling in off the wild Irish Sea. Now the ruins remain, weathered walls half forgotten, paths slowly sinking back into the earth. But standing here, you almost feel the lost past. The rhythm of tools striking stone, the grit of the work, the resilience, and of the lives of the people who once called this valley home. As the wind moves through the broken frames, it reminds us of how close to history we really are, how the island keeps every memory, even when we forget to look at them. And maybe that's why places like this matter. They really show us where we've come from, and how deeply the land and its people have always been intertwined. Thank you so much for coming along on this little autumn adventure. If you enjoy these behind the scenes journeys around the Isle of Man, let me know. I'd love to keep sharing them.